Hello there, everyone. Welcome to MacYak number 148. I am going to be hosting the show today. We have only 4 of us here today, which, for the sake of symmetry, looks really good. I mean,
it does.
Tidy, don't you reckon? It's got that.
Yep.
It's just perfect.
It makes us look a lot better too because we're bigger.
Yeah, that's right. And I've got to say this now before we go anywhere. What on earth is Dave doing here? It is way too early. This is ridiculous. So, Dave,
it's time to end the show?
Yeah, Dave's here. He's in the chat. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, I think Dave, go away. We get embarrassed when we do the show in front of you.
He said he has Thursdays off from now on, so we
wow.
see a lot more of him. Yep.
Yeah, I would like to think that we played a big part in Dave getting Thursdays off.
Let's roll with that.
You know, he went to his boss, said, "Hey, boss, it's MacYak Thursday. I can't miss it. So you guys got to cut me some slack."
Exactly.
That's the way it should be.
Yes, indeed.
And
so how are you guys doing?
We should say hi to Kai real quick because he's eating himself into a coma. He will not be here much longer.
Yes, I did actually have a quick little shout out on the Tinker Different Discord about the MacYak show tonight. So if anyone did see that and is watching after receiving that notification, thank you for joining. I do appreciate it. Hello to the Tinker Different folks. Oh my goodness, that's a storm. Okay, how is everyone?
Good.
Tired, very sleepy.
Okay, it's going to be that sort of show. We're setting the standard early.
I just purchased a Oculus Quest, so I'm going to be having some fun with that here soon.
That's got something to do with 3D, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Unfortunately, unless I get a USB-C 3.0 card on my Mac, Mac Pro, I won't be able to use it on the Mac at least. So.
Well, why don't you have one? Come on. Yeah. USB 3 cards have been out for long enough.
No, I have USB 3.0, but they're all USB-A. I need a C.
You can't use a C to an A adapter and see if it works?
I doubt it. I don't know. Not sure, to be honest with you.
See if it does. I mean, they're pretty cheap.
I mean, I've seen plenty of USB-C to A adapters, but not vice versa. That's one I haven't really seen much of.
Oh, I'm sure they're around. I got something pretty neat today too. I also paid way too much for it.
Yeah, I think you paid about $500 too much for it.
Yeah, at least, yeah. I got a Sonnet G3. I think it's a Harmony card, which has the built-in FireWire and stuff for a revision A through D tray load iMac. So that's awesome. I'm going to be upgrading my Bondi Blue
what?
iMac.
Yeah, he said it right.
Dear.
Hey, Grudy, I'm happy to put the screenshot you sent us up on the screen.
Oh, do it.
Make you look real stupid.
So what sort of speed improvements are we going to see?
5 megahertz.
500.
Like I said, you spent over $500 more than what you should have spent on that.
But I understand it's an investment because he's telling us about it now. I put the screenshot up on the screen. So now, as we speak, Sean is texting him like, dude, I'll pay you $1,000 for it. Give me. So it's
that's
a money
one
maker.
of the first people I contacted on Facebook was Sean.
No, the biggest problem is that him buying it at that price makes Mr. Polka Dot want to jack up his prices even more.
Yeah.
So it's your fault, Grudy.
Sean says it's a bargain, so I guess I did pretty good.
That's a bargain.
Well, this actually segues to something that happened to me this week as well, other than being chased by a gigantic dog this morning. But that's another story.
Job dog?
No, sorry, a gigantic Rottweiler, which was rather aggressive, and I made it by about that much. So anyhow. that's another story.
Please tell me you have security camera footage of you running
I
inside
did
the
not.
house.
I didn't even take a photo. I didn't even take a photo of this thing. I mean, this dog was the size of a horse, and I didn't take a photo of it. I mean, I'm really annoyed. But yeah, I sort of. It's bin night. Last night was bin night. I didn't take the bins out. It was raining. The bin was only half full, so I was, as in trash. So anyhow, this morning I noticed they hadn't picked up the bins yet, so I was going to take it out, and I went to go take it out, and got chased by a gigantic Rottweiler that clearly should not have been roaming the streets. So, and the bins didn't get emptied. So yeah, but anyhow. So the segue that I was actually going to talk about was the fact that I've had a Mac 128K here for the last couple of days. I got contacted by someone via email, and they had a 128K Mac, and they were looking to sell it. And it didn't work. They sent me a photo of the sad Mac screen with the error message, and would I be able to help? Now, I said yes, I can certainly help. And so they brought it to me in the box. And which I was not happy about, because I did not want that box in the house, because I have cats that like to sharpen their claws on boxes, and I don't like the idea of them sharpening their claws on an original 128K Macintosh box. But anyhow, its box is gone. The box didn't get damaged. It was all safe and everything. That's all fine. But they were talking to me about the resale value of this computer. And of course, with an original 128K and all the original packaging, and in Australia, knowing that they are rarer in Australia than they are in other parts of the world, I came up with an approximate price of what I thought it would be worth. And most of the people I spoke to agreed in my assessment. And this particular person was basically of the belief that it was worth about $1,000 or be a bit more than the assessment that I made. So my assessment was about $1,500 to $2,000 for it in the condition that it was in, once working, of course, because that was what they brought it to me for, was to fix it, to make it so that it went again, which it does. It all works. And then he was of the belief that they're worth about $3,500. And he told me a couple of times that they go for that much. And I was sort of thinking, based on what? Where have you got those statistics from? And I just found this a really unusual situation to have someone who had little enough knowledge about this that they actually they contacted Apple first to see if they would repair it. So this is, a 1984 128K Mac. They contacted Apple. Then they just went to a generic computer shop, and then they did a bit of a Google search and found me, and then that was where they ended up. Which is
Let me guess, Apple laughed at him.
He didn't say. He just said. He said they said no chance or something like that. So
they had to. If I was the guy on the other end of the phone, I'd have been laughing at him. Or it's probably some guy that says, "A what? What is that?"
So here's the thing. It was stored away, and he was moving house or something like that. He bought it. It's his. He actually bought this as brand new. He still had the receipt for it there. He put it away into storage after it wasn't being used, because it was 128K, and he very soon found that he couldn't do much with it as a 128K, because a lot of the new software that was coming out all needed 512. So he just packed it up and put it away rather than having it upgraded, which, is a good move from a collector's perspective. But this isn't mine, by the way. So it's if you're looking to buy it, don't come to me. So he packed it away, and then when he was moving, someone apparently made him an offer for like $100 many years ago. This is many years ago. Made him an offer $100 for it, and he said, "No, I think I'll hang on to it and sell it later on." And then he's now moving again and has decided now is the time to sell it. Just has this idea that it's worth $3,500. And of course, I said to him at the time, I said, "Look, you're getting into Lisa territory there. If someone has $3,500 burning a hole in their pocket, they can buy themselves a Lisa. It doesn't matter how many extras you have with that. It's like if you're getting a Porsche that has all of the extras, if you've got enough money to buy a Ferrari, you know, even if it's a base model Ferrari, you're going to buy the Ferrari rather than buy the Porsche with all the extras. And
Depends
I think
on
if
you
someone,
like Porsches more than Ferraris.
this is true. This is true. This is true. I'm speaking fairly generically here,
I know.
but yeah, I mean, I was baffled by this idea that he had, that this was the amount that it was worth, which I just felt was I just a figure that he pulled out of the air. I don't know where he got that number from, but anyhow,
When I hear prices like that, it just makes me want
it'll do that to you for sure.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he doesn't trust you as someone that fixes and buys and sell these things. Maybe he thinks you're trying to lowball him to get your hands on it or something. Or,
Tell him that, hey, you wouldn't even buy it for that much.
Well, look, I said to him, look, I'm not a buyer for this. Although I want one of these in my collection. Number one, I don't have that much money to spend on one computer. Number two, I hate boxes. I hate them. The first thing I would do would be get rid of that box. I am not going to pay extra for a box because I hate boxes. So it's better off being sold to someone who wants the box, who wants the original packaging, all that sort of stuff. So that I just feel like that one is better suited to that sort of collector. But anyhow,
nightmare. I love boxes. I have a box for a 12-inch PowerBook. I have boxes for everything. Half of my garage is boxes, but I don't have the shelf space to put them up. I don't want to cut them up and stick them on the wall. I don't want to sell them, and I don't want to toss them either. So it's like this curse that I'm stuck with.
Well, this box right here belongs to Grudy, so
yeah, you're going to be stuck with that for the next 5 years. So good luck.
I know. I've already got 2 items of his. Well, now 3, but I've had 2.
Just do what I did.
4.
If he leaves
I'll
it at
try
your
to
house
swing
too
by
long,
at the end of the month.
yeah, I've heard that.
I'm going to be off between the 23rd, the 24th, and the 4th.
Don't drive your truck.
So just to set the expectation here, 2 months ago, a Macintosh 128K with keyboard and mouse, but nothing else, sold for $1,300 on eBay here in Australia. So, you know, the idea of it being with the box, with an image writer, with software, with discs, all that sort of stuff, the idea of it being, you know, $1,500 to $2,000, it fits within the market here in Australia, you know, and maybe a little bit more.
It sounds about right for Vegemite land.
Yeah.
Well, what you do
right.
is tell them to put it on eBay and let the market, like you just said.
Oh, yeah, he put it on eBay with a starting bid of $3,500.
No.
Yeah, that's gonna go well.
Yeah. So anyhow,
what he should have done is put it on there with a reserve. That way, nobody would know what the reserve.
Well,
is.
I contacted him. I contacted some of the Australian collectors that I know, because there are a lot of Australian collectors that I know that are on the lookout for them and that like having the boxes as well. And I said, look, this is the price he's got it up for on eBay. I have spoken to him. He doesn't expect to get that much. So have a look at the ad, see what's included. I know it works. I know it's a genuine 128K because I've had it here. I know it's in good condition. I know it has no burn in. I know it's got a sharp display. So, you know, I can guarantee these things. I know the floppy drive works. I can guarantee these things, but but if you want to make him an offer, don't even bother if your offer is going to be less than 2,000, and just send him a message via eBay, and we'll just see what ends up happening. You know, see how he goes. I think I've got a delivery coming, so I might have to disappear from the screen.
Wine is here.
No, it's not wine today. It's a cable. So how about that? Interesting stuff like cables.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, sorry, I'm hosting, aren't I?
Yeah, so you can't leave.
No. That's right. Okay, so we do actually have a news item, which I'm going to just quickly go over because it is me anyway. And it was, what is it? Bruce has a new product for sale. This is not for sale just yet, but it will be very soon. It is, for those who may not have seen one, well, you won't have, because I literally just designed this box yesterday. This here is a Blue SCSI DB25. Sorry, I'll be right back.
All right, so Bruce has a Blue SCSI DB25, and from what I understand, and I don't know that much about it, But Blue SCSI is hard to come by now because of the component shortages and all that. So this little DB thing is an alternative, I believe. It's to the Blue SCSI you would use normally. This is an alternative for that. It's smaller, plugs directly into the back of the Mac, and with this Blue SCSI, the regular one being hard to come by, this is going to be probably selling like hotcakes. And he even printed a very cool 3D case for it.
So yes, so basically, as we all, I don't know what I missed there, but I'm assuming Jay did a very good job of filling in the gaps there. But as you know, the Blue SCSI, which has been around for a long time, it's a budget alternative to the SCSI 2SD, and comes in a variety of flavors. It has now got. I'm just taking it out of the case, which is a really snug fit. It does come out.
Did you design the case on your 3D printer?
Of course he did.
Yeah. So this is basically what it looks like here. It has the familiar blue pill here, and there's your little resistors there, and there's your DB25 connector, and it's a very, very, as you can, very, very small component. There's your SD card slot there, micro SD card slot, and so that's that. These will be on sale very, very soon. I'm just making sure that the case is all practical and looking all good before I can then sort of punch out multiples of these, because I will be selling them with the case. It won't be an optional extra. It will be with the case.
Who's going to be your American supplier?
Oh no! Well, I am the. There will be US ones as well. So I will be sharing this 3D case design with other sellers in the around this great big globe, and then. And other people will be doing it or designing their own cases if they prefer. So so this is a really handy thing for people who are sort of vintage computery people, having the ability to sort of just connect these externally to one of your vintage devices, boot from it, format an internal drive or whatever the case may be. They're really good for diagnostics. If you've got a computer that's having trouble, you can boot off this and then run Norton's or whatever. Just a really, really nifty thing. And I can say that there's if you're a vintage computer user, having an external sort of SCSI device like this is just invaluable. So
while you were running to get your cable, I said that this is an alternative to the Blue SCSI.
Alternative to the SCSI 2SD.
Oh, SCSI 2SD. All right.
So this is the SCSI 2SD version 5.5, which is a great little device. I'm not, I really have nothing bad to say about this at all. The problem with this at the moment is it runs from this particular little chip in here. This, you can see the little square chip in the middle there, and they have become virtually unprocurable because of the silicon shortage at the moment. There's the IC shortage that's going on at the moment, and so the company that make these are not even providing a lead time for when they will have new ones. So it's all very well to have this design and all that sort of stuff, but I can't get these. I can't buy them to resell them. It's as simple as that.
So I misspoke. It's an alternative to the SCSI 2SD, which is hard to get. Because Eric jumped in the chat and said, "No, what are you talking about? Blue SCSI is readily available." Like, what? But yeah.
So
I did not do a good job at all.
No. Oh well. Yeah.
Well, Jay doesn't know beige, so
you filled the spot while I wasn't here.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the other really important thing is there is another version of the Blue SCSI, the main Blue SCSI, the internal style Blue SCSI, which is out. I think some people have already started selling it. I will be selling it very, very soon. And it just adds a few extra features. It's a little easier to assemble, and when you're putting the resistors in, you put them in facing the same way instead of going back to front like that, which of course Steve got a bit caught up with that when he put one of them in the wrong way. So that just makes it a little bit more, let's say, intuitive, for want of a better word, when it comes to assembly. And it also has a little jumper for connecting an external LED. So if you're connecting one up inside like an old SE or an SE30, which has a little LED light for drive activity, you'll be able to plug it in so you can get the drive activity. So yeah. Be on the lookout.
I'm so happy to hear that. all these cool new features after I buy 7 of the goddamn thing. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, look, the old ones still work. There's still nothing wrong with the old ones. You know, it's all of the brains behind them are the same. It's just a slight design change. They moved the position of the SD card, things like that. But yeah, it's all good. Okay, so that was it for the so interesting news item. And I guess at this stage, what we look at doing is we start delving into some conversational stuff. We've been talking about the idea of trying to keep the show a little bit more conversational rather than heavily topic driven. So we're going to roll into this first topic, which is more of a guideline for us to talk about.
Yeah.
So what do we, us and audience, do to get away from technology? Daily breaks, monthly hiatus. The new focus mode. Has screen time reporting had an impact on your device use? So there we go. It's open slather.
Oh, I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't think I get away from technology, to be honest with you. I think it's
I've never even used the features.
Now, for the focus mode, yes, I have used that because actually at 11 o'clock now, my phone goes ding, ding, ding. And it's like, the lullaby. And it's like my sleep time trying to tell me, hey, go to bed. My watch the screen goes black. So I have to tap it to actually see, what's going on. And Siri, shut up. The iPhone actually won't come on. I have to actually scroll twice to get through it. It's a little bit more of a pain, but it's the new do not disturb mode, I think, because whenever iOS what are we on, 15?
15.
Came out, and the do not disturb mode kind of went away. And the very first night I had it, I was getting texts from these guys here, that way actually. Oh yeah, and then Jay Lee. So I was getting texts at like 2 a.m, and I was like, why the hell is that happening?
Because Jay doesn't sleep.
Yeah. Then I look down and I see that there's no more do not disturb. So I had to set up that focus mode. That's the new thing. So yeah, but other than that, I don't take a break from technology much. I don't know about you guys.
So I mean, we all know that we're spending too much time in front of screens, and that's why things like screen time, happen. But I mean, are any of you guys even mindful of that? Is it something that you concern yourselves about?
No.
Yeah.
Jay's
getting a yes.
Not because of I did 2 hours of screen time today. Tomorrow it has to be an hour and a half. I'm fine with 12 hours of screen time. I really don't care. But I like the challenge. If it spits out all these statistics at the end of the day, like, okay, you did 8 hours of screen time, and I haven't even checked in a long time. Then I'll try tomorrow to bring it down a little, just for the challenge. It's the same that I do in my house with conserving electricity or water. I get my bill, and it's like, oh, okay, I used X amount of kilowatts. Let's see if I can do better next month. And it's the challenge of it that I like, but I don't really care for it for health reasons or stuff like that.
All right,
that was just my average time on just my phone. Okay, so
everyone fess up. What's your average time? What's your daily average? You go to screen time.
You go to settings.
Settings.
And then screen time.
Yeah, everyone's got to fess up on their phone screen time. Your daily average:
6 hours, 27 minutes.
Person with the lowest gets a cookie.
I don't even have mine activated, so I don't know.
So activate it.
48.
What's yours, Bruce? I can't see it, so I'm white.
No, it's two. Yeah, 41 minutes.
You can lie.
41
minutes, not bad.
Yeah. So I guess I use it way too much.
Mine's somewhere between 5 minutes and 24 hours.
I'm gonna tell you something. My wife, if she has it on, it's probably close to around 13, 14 hours a day.
Yes, I'm not sure what my wife's would be. It'd certainly be more than mine's for sure.
Uh-oh.
I tend not to I do spend time on the phone, don't get me wrong, but I'm probably more likely to spend time sitting in front of a computer than I am in front of the phone.
Well, I am too, but like when I'm at work and stuff, I don't have nothing but my phone, So when I'm checking something,
there is a correlation between screen time used and how much time I spend in my other office. Because when you're sitting there and you got nothing else to do, you might want to watch a YouTube video and stuff. So some days are worse than others.
Yeah.
Does anyone here ever feel overwhelmed by it? Like they actually need a break?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's and I don't really get away from technology, but I try to get away from the notifications. So I will put on Do Not Disturb, or it's called Focus now, and I will watch a movie on the Apple TV or on the computer. I will just put on a podcast and then move to the other desk to do some soldering, which is, of course, still technology. But I try to get away from the endless stream of notifications, emails, messages, news. Just try to block that out for at least a couple hours a day. So
I block it out when I go to sleep.
Yeah, I was about to say that. That's the only time I block it out.
I don't take my phone into the bedroom at all. At night, I plug my phone in here to charge, but I do have an iPad next to the bed, but the sound is off on that, so it can alert to its heart's content. I'm not going to know it's doing it because it's the volume's turned down on it. But I mean, I have got Discord, Slack, Apple Messages, Facebook Messenger, emails. Then there are messages within Facebook, like business ones versus personal ones, and WhatsApp. So it's sitting at the computer. When it goes ping, I have no idea where to look. It could be any one of those or all of them, and it becomes incredibly frustrating, especially when you think you've reached peak message, and then someone gets in touch with you to say, we're going to start using this one for sending messages around because we've just found emails to be way too inefficient.
The messages get inefficient.
And then the moment that made me really angry, like as in wanting to pick something up and throw it, was when I had someone who, well, let's call them a customer, though I've never actually done any work for them. They've talked to me about sending stuff to me, but have never actually sent anything to me. Sent me a message on Facebook Messenger asking a question about a computer. I can't remember what, asking a question about something to do with a repair or a problem or something like that. Within probably about 5 minutes' time, I had not answered that message. I hadn't even seen it, to be honest. Another message comes through that says, "Oi." And that really infuriated me, that this idea that this messaging service is a way to get a response from me immediately. Life just doesn't work like that. Why on earth? I mean, if I was in a conversation with anyone, let's just say I'm having a conversation with someone, I'm chatting, and someone just came up and just started tapping me in the shoulder and saying, "Oi, oi, oi, oi." I mean, you would just, you'd give them an uppercut. I mean, that sort of behavior is totally unacceptable and antisocial.
Especially oi, that just triggers something in England and Australia. You just don't do that.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means in Australian, but
well, it's the rudest way to get someone's attention. Oi,
oi, yeah, that's right. It is a very rude way of getting someone's attention, and so this idea that whether if I'm working, okay, so my main job is I write code. I like to have a lot of quiet. I like to have, no distractions. And to have a situation where someone sends a message and expects an immediate response. I could be in a meeting, I mean, it's the same with the phone call, really. I mean, people aren't always available, and you just have to accept that. But that because of phones, thank you, Shady Robot. Much appreciated. So I just sort of feel that this idea that, and in particular with some companies moving to things like Teams, in particular with places now doing a lot of remote working rather than working in an office, that you have this continual bombardment of messages with that expectation that something like Teams or Slack or WhatsApp or whatever, or Facebook Messenger is going to result in, send a message, get an instant reply, that sort of thing. And it just ends up making us stuck to these things. Tell me I'm wrong.
I think Starbucks Tech has it right too. You could be taking a poop break. You don't want to answer the phone on the toilet.
Yeah, but come on, who doesn't take the phone with them to the bathroom anyway?
Well, that's why I was saying.
Raise your hand if you don't
time.
take your phone. Raise your hand if you don't take your phone to the bathroom with you. Yeah, I didn't think so.
Angry Birds changed all that. When Angry Birds came out, everybody was using their phone in the shitter.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, for old folks like me who remember the old Game & Watch that used to get made by Nintendo, there's little things. There was like Oil Panic and Fire and all those, and you just had these little games with an LCD screen and two little buttons, and they had a Donkey Kong. Those for me, they were the start. They were the thing. I mean, it was no longer taking a book in with you; it was taking the Game & Watch in with you and trying to get a high score. And of course, the phone has taken that even further.
Yeah, but before that, you had your books, your magazines, or your Game Boy, or I used to play Snake on the Nokia phone, like till the battery died. But those weren't the kind of things that make you sit there like, oh crap, my legs are numb. It's been 45 minutes. Angry Birds made you take that pain. Like,
I wouldn't say it was Angry Birds for me. It was what was that running game, the one that Tomb Runner or whatever? It's hold on, I can tell you which one it is because I still have it on my phone.
You took that TI-99 to the bathroom with you, didn't you?
No. No, it's one of the games, Temple Run.
Temple Run. Yeah.
Temple Run. When that came out, that's one of those games I just played constantly, But
but when I really, really want to get away from, I take breaks once, twice a year where I want nothing to do with soldering. I want nothing to do with my website or anything really that involves me sitting here behind one of these desks. I will find a project in the garage. Like this year, I fixed up that tractor. Took a few months on and off. Nothing technology related. I had a blast. It's just the reset I needed. Or I will find a project in the garden during the summer, or
Well, you could say a little technology in the tractor.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's not a single IC in that thing.
I'm not. Well, technology is not just ICs and stuff now. I mean,
well, that's the technology I'm trying to get away from.
Okay, I'm just messing with it.
I haven't really explored all the features of Focus. I do use it when right now, Focus is on, and when I tapped it, it said, what's it called? Personal focus is on. Okay, I don't know how that's different from the sleep focus I use when I go to bed. I haven't checked all that stuff out yet, but I do use it. And it's nice when it hides the badges, all the notification badges. I love that. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even necessarily the technology that I'm trying to escape a lot of the time. It's the notifications, it is the messages, it's the link with the outside world. That's probably the thing. I mean, whether it be your FOMO and jumping onto Facebook or Instagram or something like that, something that's causing you to go on there, but it's that connection with the outside world. If we were to take it back to, say, pre-internet days and look at technology back then, I feel like it's far less, I don't know, invasive. That's very true. I mean, whether you're sitting there playing a game or sitting there writing some code or whatever you might be doing, now it's that constant bombardment from the outside world that I think is one of the real killers.
And some people are better at ignoring it than I am, for sure. Because once I know, and that's what I like about Focus, like I said, it hides the badges. Once Focus is on, there's no notification badges anywhere. So I am not tempted to, even though I'm sitting on a couch watching a movie, to say, "Oh, let's check my email," or "Oh, what's that notification badge?"
Yeah, but you usually have a ton of numbers on those notification badges. Like Grudy, I bet she still has 10,000 something emails.
I'm not as bad as I used to be.
58,064
Yeah, that's what I thought.
58,102 emails.
That's what mine looks like too.
It's not bad,
Yeah.
It's not as bad as Grudy's,
right? But that's one of the things I
912.
enjoy the PowerPC challenge. There are no notifications built in any operating system that you can run on a PowerPC
That
to
is
bother
true.
you. I love it.
Except we've now got Discord on there, so just
Yeah, but I don't think
No.
it sends out a notification like.
well, that's good.
I mean, it was fun at first when it just started. It was useful. Before the built-in notifications, you had an app called Growl, and you would install it.
I remember that.
Apps could send you notifications, and you would get 2-3 a day, and they were useful notifications. Now it's just endless streams of garbage that you don't even care about. So,
that's because now we've dumbed down everybody, and now all they want to do is get instant gratification when they like, oh, somebody loves me. I must be loved because I'm getting 10,000 notifications.
And websites do it too now. Like, do you want to be notified? I said, no, I don't need websites to start adding to the pile.
Exactly.
I can't stand tons and tons of notifications.
Yeah.
The only apps I have that notify me is eBay. And that's it, actually.
Yeah,
Look what it did to you today.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what happened. It notified me. I'm like, up the bid.
Kai, I am envious of Kai and jealous. I was put in Facebook jail at sometime in October. Yeah, in October I was put in Facebook jail, and I didn't really make any efforts to get out of Facebook jail for about a month, and it was amazing. Only once or twice during all that was I like, oh, this would be a cool whatever to post on Facebook, but I loved it.
But here's the thing. I'm actually still in Facebook jail right now. So
yeah. Well,
so it does cut
VIP.
down. It does cut down a lot, like you said.
You got the penthouse in Facebook jail.
Huh?
So Facebook for me has become a very, very simple thing. Messenger is a bigger issue, but Facebook for me has now become sharing photos with family, because I have family in different. My sister is in Melbourne, my cousins in New Zealand, cousins in LA. So we've got family in different parts of the world. So we have an opportunity to post photos and share things about what's been going on, just normal day-to-day stuff, not stupid stuff. But then the other really important thing is, of course, the business component of it, and that is that when it comes to things like the recapping, and it comes to the YouTube channel, and it comes to the computer repair and all that sort of stuff, Facebook becomes a really, really important part of that, and it has to be from a business perspective. But I actually find the way I have Facebook set up, I find very, very manageable. It's really not that much of an issue.
I'm gonna tell you something before you go on. This thing right here requires Facebook. Believe it or not, because guess who owns Oculus?
Yeah,
Facebook owns Oculus, and you have to have a Facebook.
Don't you mean
account.
Meta?
No, it's actually Facebook.
Meta?
Meta is the company above them.
Well, yeah,
they're not changing the Facebook name.
I have Facebook set up so that I only see the stuff on my feed that I want to see. It's not the messages that bother me. The problem is every Mac Apple-related group out there, I moderate. And you will not believe how much moderation is involved with being in all these groups. Just low-end Mac or Mac Pro upgrade alone, it's every day. People are having disagreements. People are posting stupid shit, and that I don't want to turn it off, because sometimes people post stuff that really, really should be removed ASAP.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's
like the porn links.
I don't mind those. I leave those up. Rudy can deal with those, but it's
usually takes those down immediately, but sometimes they don't.
Yeah, and last few months, the OpenCore group where we test the beta versions and all that stuff. A new version is about to come out that spent the last few days in testing. You're talking hundreds of messages a day with code to go through. And can you troubleshoot this? Can you test that? Whoa.
Yeah, and not only that, but after it comes out, you're going to see all the messages like, hey, it broke this or it broke that or this doesn't work or how do I get this to work or how do I get that to work? You know, it's like, so it's a never-ending cycle, you know?
Yeah. But it's fun to get away from it. And like I said, it's kind of cheating because I don't really get away from technology, but I try to make my cutoff here in the office 2 a.m. 2 a.m. I want to get up, turn off all the lights, go to the couch and watch a show. And yes, I'm still using an Apple TV, but there's no notifications on the Apple TV. There's no distractions. I leave my phone in the office. My watch is usually on the charger. So that's my get away from it time. Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Here's what I think is a really interesting thing that can occur, and that is you can be in a situation where you're away from technology for whatever reason. Your battery goes flat, you're out driving or something like that, and you can't check your phone. And you eventually you get somewhere and you get a message and you feel, and you're sort of compelled to respond to it, but you know it's an hour after that message has come in. There are other times where you get a message and you think, and you feel compelled to answer it immediately, but you think to yourself, I may not have read this. I might have been in a meeting. I might have been driving. I might have been somewhere else. Why do I feel this need to answer it right now? You know, I mean, it's that impulse to go in and respond to something immediately as soon as it comes in. You know, even though we miss messages all the time when we're doing other things. And I've just always found that interesting because I've had times where I've received messages and I've thought to myself, well, I don't have to answer that right away. I may not have even seen it. You know, there's no guarantee. You know, the sender doesn't know I've seen it, so that I may not have seen it. I can just answer it later on. But then, you know, you sometimes just get this desire to answer it immediately, and that's certainly one of the things that happens to me anyway.
Yeah, and that's something that doesn't bother Grudy at all. We can go a week and a half chatting in the group chat, and he will just come in. Are we having a show tonight? So, no, Maciac doesn't exist anymore since a month and a half ago.
This is a good one. So we have a system in place so that 2 hours prior to every show, we have a group chat where we come in and we say, "I will be on the show." That's a system we set up probably about a year ago now, something like that. Grudy has yet to do that.
I always forget to. You guys should just automatically assume I'll be there.
Except when you're not.
What we also implemented around the same time is a little calendar reminder at 5 p.m. that pops up, say, hey, RSVP.
Oh, it still pops up, but considering I usually block my notifications, I never see it.
See, we tried, Jay, and it doesn't work with Grudy.
Oh, dear. Oh, well. Okay, so I think we probably.
Well, I just wanted to tell Kai something real quick because he was talking about, you know, the reason why he doesn't want to get an Oculus because of Facebook requirement. Well, the Peloton, I don't know if anybody knows this, but the Peloton machines, the exercise machines, you actually have to have a subscription in order to use the things. So you can't even use it as a treadmill, let's say. You can't even use it as a regular treadmill without having a subscription. That is
I ran into that, 2 weeks ago. I went out and bought a rowing machine. It took actually quite a bit of effort to find a good rowing machine, quality built, just the way I want it, without any technology in it. It was quite a challenge, but I found one. All it has is an LCD where it counts the amount of strokes. That's it. It's not hooked up to Wi-Fi. It's not going to be corrupted with a firmware update. It's dumb as a box of rocks, and that's just the way I like it.
And that's the way they should be selling things too, again. But, you know, people like their technology, you know, on their stuff.
Look, I can see the appeal of Peloton, and it's an interesting thing because it's a company that did incredibly well while countries were in lockdown. People were getting it, and it allowed them to actually network up with other people and exercise together in a group. sort of using this exercise bike. And interestingly enough, when the countries all started coming out of lockdown, the share price for Peloton tanked. It just shot downwards because these are expensive. I don't know what they cost over there, but they're, I don't know, $2,500 or something.
Oh yeah,
like
they're
that
expensive.
for
Very expensive.
Yeah, which of course, which is pretty amazing when you consider that it is an exercise bike with a Raspberry Pi stuck to it. That's maybe an oversimplification, but
that's about true though.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I can definitely understand the appeal, in particular if someone is having issues with motivation to use an exercise device, that you have this sort of interaction with others, which is probably more likely. I mean, it's like if you go to a gym with someone else, you're much more likely to go than if you go to a gym on your own. But yeah, that is, that sort of technology is definitely invading all of these exercise machines. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean,
I also like to separate it from. I don't like to have all that technology with the accounts and the connectivity all on one device. Like I have a dumb rower, but I can have Fitness Plus on my watch, which I'm now doing a trial of, and I can keep track of it all through my watch and share it and do challenges with my wife or whoever else does it. And if I decide to get a different rower, it's not going to impact my account with that company that I can't transfer over. And,
yeah. Well, and Frederick makes a point here. Didn't Peloton have a problem with kids getting hurt? Yes, that's one of the reasons why, but that's not a reason why. If, like, say, for instance, I don't want to pay the subscription no more, so I can't use my own. This is almost like we're talking about Apple stuff, I don't want to pay the subscription no more, so I can't use my hardware that I bought and paid for because it won't work at all. It won't even turn on, is what I'm saying. It basically is broke. It's like,
well, if you look at something, I mean, there are examples. If you look at something like, I know this is a bit of a stretch, but if you look at something like the Nespresso coffee machines. Now, there are a lot of people copying those coffee pods now, but in the early days, if you wanted to buy an espresso coffee machine, you needed to sign up for their club in order to buy the coffee capsules. And you couldn't sign up to the club without the serial number of one of their products. So you can have this coffee machine. You could buy this. You could have a coffee machine there. You could not buy capsules for it, and it's still the case with some of the other ones. You could not buy capsules for it without signing up as a club member, giving them all your personal details, and of course having a valid serial number in order to order the consumables for it. Which of course I found obscene. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And privacy plays into that too. I do not trust whatever company, a treadmill or a rowing machine, whatever might be, like, oh, let's sign up for another account to have and have all your fitness data go to it. And it comes down to trust. Like, I do not trust Facebook. I do not trust Google. I trust Apple only because they haven't proven me wrong yet. They will in the future, undoubtedly, but that's why I trust the fitness and the health tracking on the watch and stuff. But yeah, I'm not out of my mind crazy about over the top about it, but I'm privacy conscious. So I
guess what you always need to be aware of when it comes to the perspective of privacy. I mean, you take, for example, you look at, say, excuse me if my timeline's wrong with this, but if you go back to, say, the 90s, the .com boom, you had all these companies, all these new companies being set up for the internet, and everyone's sinking money in it. Everyone's investing their dollars in it because it's going to be the next big thing. And then all of a sudden, the ass falls out of it, and a lot of these companies go bust. One of the issues was that none of these companies made anything. And what you always have to remember is anything that you're using, if it's free, there's a cost somewhere. And something like Facebook, where ultimately there's no subscription charge to use it, there is a cost somewhere. And that cost is in the advertising side of it. They make money through advertising.
That's the cost is not in advertising. The cost is actually in your personal information is there.
Sorry, yes. The cost is the wrong word. let's say the profit is in advertising. The cost, the cost to you is in your information being leaked to advertisers or given to advertisers, not leaked, given to advertisers in order for them to be able to target you more specifically. Now, this is a kind of double-edged sword, because it makes sense to target advertising. There is absolutely no point in sending me an ad on dog biscuits because I don't own a dog. But at the same time, once that level of information about you gets to a certain point, they can start targeting you when you are at your weakest. And in particular when it comes to like children who aren't as perceptive to being targeted in this way. And it starts to become like a dirty trick. Now, Apple is different in that they make copious amounts of money other ways. So they can afford to keep that information private because they don't need to make money from selling this information on to advertisers. Whereas, companies like Facebook, we know they've got no other option but to be selling that information to advertisers, because otherwise they have no business model.
Yeah. It's the same with Google. And I don't know who this saying belongs to. Some smart person said it once upon a time. If you don't pay for the product, you are the product. And
yes.
That is true with any of this. And Kai is talking about Facebook, Amazon, using a pie hole to help block ads and stuff on your network. I do that too. And I also provide a lot of fake information. If I sign up for stuff, I use a fake email address, a fake name, fake date of birth, all that stuff, just to get the bare minimum in there for what I need to use, any service or product or whatever.
I was going to say, how many of us have a throwaway email account just for spam? Yes.
Many.
Yes. When I sign up for something, I have a special email account that I don't even go and check, except if they send an email to verify, then that's the only thing I check, but it's full of spam. I just never touch it,
Yep.
But that's all that Gmail account is there for, So, but more for
I read an article, yesterday or day before. I forgot. So I can't link to it now. I forgot where I found it, but it was a pretty big publication, and the author of this article was shocked, absolutely shocked, that Facebook harvests your information out of the photos you upload. Your location, the camera that was used, the lens that was used, shutter speed, everything that's saved in your photo when you upload it to Facebook is filtered out before they put it on your profile, so that other people cannot see all that data, where the photo was taken, what hardware you used, whether you were looking north or south, all that stuff that's in photos called Exif data. They happily harvest it and collect it and tie it to your account, but they don't want anyone else to see it. So I use an app, and I forgot what it's called on the Mac. Let me see. I lost it. Yep, I lost it. There's an app. I have an app on my phone, and there's an app on the Mac where you drag your photos to it. You click a button, it strips all that metadata out of your photos, location, all that stuff, and then you upload it to Facebook. So it's an additional step. You can still share your photos and share everything you want to share, but there are ways to make it more anonymous and more private. Like,
what's that app you use again?
Yeah, it's in my dock somewhere, but my dock is out of
control.
Dude,
you're going to have to provide. I need that app.
I'll put it in the description after the show. But and I only use Facebook through VPN on both my Mac and my phone. And I don't use my name. Sure, Facebook knows a lot more about me than I want them to know, but they are not going to know where I took this picture that I uploaded today, or if I was at a political protest, or if I was, all the stuff they use to build a profile on you, whether it's good or bad. I just don't want them to have it because I don't trust them.
You know what you need to start doing, and this is just my thought, is get the location for Facebook's offices and just make sure you put that in every one of your metadata for the location on the pictures.
Yeah, that's more effort than I want to put in.
But it would be fun.
But yeah, and of course, we used to have this discussion with Rocky when he was still around. It's like, oh, you don't trust Facebook, you don't trust Google, but you trust Apple blindly. Said, yeah, I'm taking a risk. Apple has historically proven that they do not need to sell our user information because they sell the products and they make plenty of money doing it. And they anonymize what they can and all. And for companies like Facebook and Google, your personal information is their livelihood. That's the
Yeah.
difference.
And you got to remember too, Apple. If anybody remembers the case that the FBI had a iPhone that they wanted Apple to basically open up for them, and Apple said no. I mean,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I totally agree. There's a lot of people that that said, "Oh, Apple needs to do that. Apple needs to." Yes, they were terrorists and stuff, and yes, they. If the FBI could get into it by themselves, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But Apple should not be leaving back doors in, and that was their take on it. It's like, look, if we put a back door in this, what's the first thing that's going to happen? A hacker is going to find that back door. I mean, that's the whole point of Apple not wanting to be able to look into our stuff. Now, I will say this though. If you have anything in iCloud, even though you might have it's supposed to be encrypted and everything,
Oh yeah.
Apple can get your iCloud data.
Yep.
But the messaging data, like on iMessage, they can't get because it's encrypted from on the device to the other device. So they can't see that traffic.
That
But
we know of.
Yeah, that we know of. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be encrypted on the device before it gets sent out and decrypted on the other device at the other end. That's
Yeah.
the way it's
There's only
explained.
so much you can do. If you want to be anonymous, have your privacy, then go off the grid.
Yes.
Buy 40 acres in Alaska, build a cabin, never use technology again.
Mhm.
They will only be able to find you through your tax records because even there, they're going to find you to pay taxes. But Facebook and all that stuff, they're not going to be any wiser. So you can only get out from under it up to a point before it starts to consume your whole day and you spend more time trying to mask yourself than actually enjoying what you want to enjoy online. So there are middle grounds there, but I use some of them.
Yeah.
To make myself feel better.
But, like I was saying before about because Frederick said that, it's the San Bernardino bombers, but I was applauding Apple for that, for basically telling the FBI to go suck it, that they're not going to do anything.
I think they use slightly more polite terms than that.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, but they pretty much were thinking that probably like, no, we're not going to do it. And that right there, that one little act right there actually put a lot of faith in me with Apple. I mean,
yeah, of course, it was a bummer that you cannot get probably very important information relating to the case from that device. It sucks. And whatever safeguards a company puts in place to maintain your privacy, good people are going to use it. Bad people are going to use it too.
Yes.
But that doesn't
Oh yeah.
that doesn't make me believe in the whole backdoor theory. Like, oh, there has to be a special way so we can get to the bad guys' account information. Because that
Yeah,
means
but see, that's the
eventually they're gonna use
thing
it.
is, anytime you put any type of backdoor key anywheres, that the bad guys will find it in a heartbeat. I mean, they got guys out there that live for this stuff, and that's what they do 24 hours a day, is try to figure out how to find little cracks in the system.
Yep.
I mean, how do you think we got the jailbroken iPhones every time? I mean, they'd sit there and that's what they think of how to do every day. How do we get that? How do we get past Apple's security?
Yes,
It's a cat and mouse game. Apple sits there and finds it. They fix it. The hackers find another way. Apple fixes that way, and it keeps going and going. It's a never ending
game.
Yeah.
There was I assume this was on the news over there as well. I know it was a worldwide thing, but I think it originated here. I could be wrong. But there were some undercover sort of police who infiltrated a sort of a group, like a drug importation group, and they started getting everyone using this encrypted communication software. So it's like a WhatsApp type thing, but it was this app, and they said use this to communicate because its data's encrypted. You can say whatever you want. So they got everyone using it, and then there were people like literally all around the world started using this app. What they didn't actually realize is it was written by the police. The software was written by the police, and they were monitoring every single message that got sent. And it reached a point where pretty much everyone within this worldwide drug ring were using it. And then they just went in and they nabbed a lot of them with the information they had got through this software in all over the world. It wasn't just here. I mean, as I say, I think the sting originated here, but they ended up arresting people all over the world. It's an amazing thing. The worst thing about it was that they actually came out and explained this is how they got them, and I thought they should have just kept that a secret. They could have kept that going for ages.
Oh, yeah.
But they got to arrest them somehow, and then once they arrest them, they have to come out. Because
I guess with the reason why. Yeah.
Well, they have to, because when you bring it to the courts are going to ask, well, how did you find this out? And they have to sit there. So it's going to be public sooner or later.
Yeah. So, but that was a really interesting one, and I think they're still getting people. They're still arresting people from that sting. But I thought that was quite an interesting one. They lured these people into believing that everything they were sending was incredibly private, but they were actually sharing the message with the main people they didn't want to know.
Oh, Kai has a good one right here.
You're gonna feel pretty stupid sitting in jail, being read your own text.
yeah, that's right. I'm just going to tell just a quick little anecdote here that just made me laugh when I was listening. I heard this guy who was someone who used to listen to phone calls of like mob people and that, and he was saying that he had one time where there was they were listening in on a phone conversation, and they were talking about, I think it was buying cocaine, or, it could have been heroin or whatever, but they were calling them shirts. And so he was saying he's monitoring this phone call with a guy saying, "Hey, how you doing today? Just wondering, do you have any shirts? Do you have any shirts today?" And the guy said, "Yeah, we got plenty of shirts today." And then the other guy says, "So how white are the shirts?" And then the guy says, "Oh, the shirts are very white today, very white shirts." And then the other guy says, "Excellent. I'll have 1.5 shirts, please."
That is stupid.
It is apparently true, but I don't know. It makes a good story either way.
No, it's that sounds like what a criminal might say. 1.5 shirts.
And this is completely unrelated, but I see that in statistics often. Like, this week we have 5.5 people infected from COVID. It's like, I know you go by percentages, but that doesn't translate into half the person.
Which half of the person was infected? Was it like left and right, or up and waist
toes?
and legs? Oh dear. Okay, so all right. What are we doing now, fellas? Are we going to start talking about something else? Are we going to?
Well, we killed a topic that was at the end of the show tonight.
That's right. We just jumped across it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious about something that I want to get everybody's opinion on here and in the chat. How do we feel about buying refurbished stuff? And that goes for a Mac, for a washer dryer. How do we feel about the word refurbished? Because for most people that has a bad vibe hanging around it. Do you guys buy refurbished?
Yes.
If we're talking about Apple, for me, one of the most important things about refurbished is that A, it comes in the original packaging, and B, it has a warranty. That's the thing that I concern myself with the most. If someone is just selling something refurbished on eBay and not offering any sort of warranty on that refurbishment, then I'm likely to be a lot more cautious. But if someone is standing behind that refurbishment and saying this is as good as as a new one or close to, let's say, and stands behind it, then I'm fine with it.
Well, what about here's another question to kind of go on to Jay's thing. What about a refurbished item that is they offer to replace a brand new item that you had that was replaced under warranty. So you get a refurbished item to replace the brand new item that you originally had.
I've only ever had to go through that process once, as in having an item replaced, and it probably was replaced with a refurbished item. I don't know. I assume it was.
I've actually had that happen to me before. Yeah.
Never had
I would
any
like to
issues with the
clarify
replacement.
real quick. Sorry, that I am talking about electronics, not boyfriends and stuff.
Refurbished boyfriend.
While there are many questions raised with that comment, I'm talking about electronics.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's one of those things that if you've had a negative experience, you're likely to be against it. I haven't had any negative experiences with that. As long as that if I have taken in a faulty product to Apple or whoever, and it has been replaced with something that I feel is marked, scratched, warped, not in the same physical condition as what I took in, then I'm not happy about it. I'm going to complain about it. But if what they give me looks like new, I'm fine.
So
same here.
I'm looking at Kate says she says if Apple was going to repair it, it's technically refurbished. Now, what about if someone else repairs it to get like new and it sells it not new but like new?
Yeah, because I'm a hypocrite. I do not like buying. I mean, PowerPC and old stuff, sure. There's no way to get that new.
But that's not really refurbished, though.
But I trust myself in the repairs that I do, and I warranty them for 3 months. But if someone else says, "Hey, here's a MacBook Air," I refurbished it. I'm like, nah, I don't want it. So I'm definitely a hypocrite.
It's a MacBook Air.
Well, that too. And it depends on the product, of course. Like I can save a lot of money buying refurbished hard drives. I just don't trust them. These are devices that are going to store important data. I don't know how someone refurbished it.
I was going to say, how do you refurbish a hard drive, though?
Yeah, I don't trust
I've seen it. I've seen plenty of places selling refurbished hard drives. But yeah, it is.
Do they like redo the platters or? Because
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think anything that has a known limited lifespan, something mechanical that is going to fail after a certain amount of hours of use, unless there is some sort of proof that life has been extended by some sort of process or procedure, or if there is a very, very significant discount applied, I would probably shy away from something like a refurbished hard drive.
I'll chance it on products that I could fix myself. Hey, refurbished MacBook Pro for $800 off. And yeah, I'll risk it. If it breaks, I'll fix it. So.
Yeah, and like for instance with hard drives, if it's refurbished from a seller, you can't really do that.
Yeah.
But if it's refurbished from the original manufacturer, they probably replaced the wear items in the hard drive.
But
yeah,
and it probably is okay.
But here's the thing, though, is that for a hard drive, we're talking about a spinner hard drive, not a SSD. Yeah. But
well, I mean,
I know, but I'm thinking though, it's probably cheaper nowadays to just go ahead and buy a new one than to actually refurbish and try to resell an older one, because the labor cost and everything to get that back up and running as new, I think you'd buy a new one before that,
Yeah.
Justin, just a shout out. Can I tell you that quantum in your LC is living on borrowed time? Enjoy it while it lasts. And of course, the other thing is, when it comes to buying something off eBay or a secondhand seller or whatever you're buying it off, what does refurbished mean anyway? I mean, who comes up with the definition of what you are getting when someone says
has
refurbished?
A good one right there.
Does that mean
that is the problem? There is no industry standard definition for refurbishing.
Exactly.
That's right. It could just mean they just got a bit of surface cleaner on the outside of the case, or I mean, you just reformatted the hard drive or put a new OS on it. I mean, what is refurbished? We know what refurbished is with Apple. Apple ultimately are selling a refurbished product so that it ultimately looks like a brand new one, and they're not going to sell one that doesn't look like a brand new one. But I mean,
like I'm going to sell these here as professionally refurbished. All I'm doing is run the board through an ultrasonic cleaner, spit shine the case, kick it until it all fits, and then I'm selling it. People have no idea. But hey, refurbished, it can mean anything.
Well,
right?
I've done
Until
the
they
same
watch
thing.
your video in this video.
Yeah, I've done the same thing with some of the MacBook Pros I've gotten. I'll open them up, clean them out, make sure, and I take a Clorox wipe across the whole thing because some of those things are nasty that I get.
Yeah.
I don't know how people typed on those things sometimes, but I'll clean it up real good. I'll put them up on Facebook Marketplace or something, and people will snag them up quick. It's like that's the thing. That's the beauty about Apple products is that they actually hold their value more than any other thing out there, and people are willing to pay, top dollar for them.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see a 2013 iMac, 21-inch iMac or 21.5-inch iMac out there for $500, you're like, you and I look at that like, what? And then people are actually paying that much for it and buying it. That's what keeps the prices up.
Yep.
And how many times have we? I mean, I don't think of myself as a refurbisher. I mean, I fix stuff. I fix it up to a point where it works. I'm not going to take out scratches or whatever. If there's a MacBook Pro with a dent on the corner, I'm not going to go through any efforts to change out the case or take the dent out. But I sell this stuff sometimes. I put all the pictures there. I list whatever damage there might be cosmetically, and then there's still once in a while you get a message saying, "Hey, anything I should know or anything you haven't mentioned," because that shows me there's not a lot of trust for the word refurbished or used in general. Really, you guys run into that?
No.
I've never used the word refurbished on anything I've ever
I don't
sold.
either.
Yeah.
I basically I'll put on there like I cleaned or repaired whatever needs to be repaired.
Yep.
I've cleaned it up, and then I'll take very good pictures of everything, of every angle,
Yep.
especially if it has blemishes. You take pictures of real close-up pictures of the blemishes to show them, hey, this is what's here, because you want to be honest as possible when you want to sell something like that.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And so I take as many pictures as I can. I also take a picture of it actually working with the About This Mac screen up, because that's the most important screen you want to see, especially on a like a MacBook or something like that. You definitely want to see that screen up there. So my suggestion is when you do something like that, just take lots of pictures and answer the questions. If somebody asks you a question, answer it honestly. Don't sit there and try to BS.
I don't sell anything as refurbished because my standards of refurbishing are very high, and I would never, go invest that amount of time and money to properly refurbish something that I'm only gonna get $100 for in the end.
Yep.
So,
Well, I don't know about that, Jay. Look at those beige ones you've been doing the traces with, where you've been painting it like real nice and neat.
that's the thing. And Bruce joked about this last month when I was doing that. It's like, you put a lot more time in this than I've seen anyone else do, and you didn't even like the damn things. But that is just nice. If I get a board, whether it's a MacBook Pro or one of those beige things, I put the same amount of attention and work in to make sure that it's 100% by the time it leaves here, whether I like the product or not. So that's that's not refurbishing, is it? That's just fixing.
That's repairing it, but you're basically taking pride in your repairs.
I am. And it's like, hey, whoever buys this 2X, I know for a fact it's 100%. Yeah, it might have a scratch on the case. It might have some yellow discoloration. It's a freaking beige Mac, of course. But I know that when it leaves here, and unless FedEx does something stupid, by the time you get it and hook it up, it'll work. And that's the only way I let stuff go out of my house. So, but I know that is not the standard of refurbishing that a lot of people have.
Well, if you ever look at eBay and see some of those listings on there, they'll sit there and say, "Oh, I didn't power this on," or "I know it worked last time I powered it on 10 years
Unable
ago."
to test. Oh,
Yeah.
You can't plug it in. Hit a button,
Yeah. I hate those ones. Don't you guys?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, don't sell something you didn't test.
If
I have a box full of sorry, to finish up, I have a box, a crate full of beige keyboards that I really, really want to get rid of and sell. But I refuse to sell them unless I clean and test each and every one of them. You know how much freaking work that gave me?
Yes. I do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, doing one
And I
keyboard
know
at a
how
time.
meticulous you are on repairing keyboards. It takes you
It's a big-
forever.
yes. It does take me forever, and it's a huge time drain. It's a pain in the ass, but at the end of the day, at least I know that
Yeah,
it
you
keeps
guys,
my house working.
If you ever want to see Jay's attention to detail, go watch his puck mouse cleaning video.
Yeah.
'Cause that will.
This looks
Oh,
brand
that's-
new.
Yeah, that's the ashtray model of keyboard, the dust
Yeah,
collector.
this is the Bluetooth one.
Rarely are they
The one
clean.
you got from me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Look how
man, I
clean
do
it
some
is.
good work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look,
Yeah,
I've
Jay's
got
a-
absolutely no issue with advertisers selling, sort of eBay, whatever, sellers selling things as untested. But what they have to expect is that is priced based on broken.
Yep.
If it is untested, if they can't be bothered plugging it in, I am only going to spend an amount of money based on that being parts. So,
totally agree.
their pricing expectation has to be based on that.
Anytime I see not tested or untested, that to me, like you just said, Bruce, that means, oh, it's broken. I'm going to give you like a minimum amount of money than what I think it's worth, because I'm thinking it's broke. It's parts.
Yep. And I bought the Mac Plus that I bought as untested, and it worked perfectly. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
It plays out sometimes. Like I have this external floppy drive. What was it? A 400K belonged to one of those SEs. I don't know. I have no way to test it because apparently these beige Macs don't have a port for that. So I opened it up, cleaned it, lubricated it, and
Which
it's one?
one?
Of those
The
floppy drive.
one for the 128 Max.
Yeah.
You're not talking
128K
about
Max,
the big 400.
the
It'd be an
external
800.
Yeah. I don't know how many K. It's beige, it's
Well,
external, and has a port
go
that I
get
don't
it.
have.
If,
Go get
if
it and
it's
then
a
let's have a look at it.
400,
Oh, you make
if it's a 400, it's for the 128K.
Yeah. But I'm curious because nothing he got was of that vintage. I didn't think anyway. So maybe it is a 400K, but I didn't
Well, the
think
problem
anything.
is Steve already bought it from me. That's why you haven't heard it.
Oh yeah, it is a
one.
400K.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it is a 400. Yep.
But apparently, this, even though it looks the same, is not the same.
It isn't.
And
Nope.
I can't connect it to any of those. So I sold this to Steve, and I spent half an evening sitting here, tearing it apart, lubricating it, cleaning it, doing all the stuff. I have no idea if it works, but this was sold as untested because I physically can't test it.
If you open it up and you plug in a floppy ribbon cable to it, the ribbon cable to the floppy ribbon connector inside one of those other Macs you've got there, like the Mac 2s, you'll at least be able to see if it powers on. You'll be able to, it'll switch on and you'll be able to stick a disc in it and see if the heads move and stuff like that. So I know because I did that yesterday with an SE30. I connected a 400K to an SE30 and it allowed me to find out what the problem with it was. So
Nope, not doing it. So
So he's like, that's too much work.
yeah.
all right. So quick question. If I were to buy, if I had a MacBook Air or something, for argument's sake, let's just say I got a MacBook Air. It's in really nice condition. It's one that I have in my possession. I open it up. I whip out the logic board. I ultrasonically clean the board. I clean inside it. I repaste the CPU. I put a brand new battery in there. Can I call it refurbished?
I would call that reconditioned.
Yes.
And I know we're
Reconditioned
going
would be
into
more,
semantics
yeah.
now, but refurbished, I would say, hey, if there's a scratch on the bottom case, it needs a new bottom case. If
Yep.
there's a dent in the screen, it needs a new screen. That's what I see as refurbishing. But what
Yeah,
you
my
said, I would call
definition-
reconditioning.
Yeah, my definition of refurbished is it's everything. It looks new.
New.
Yeah.
It works like new.
Yes.
Exactly.
And
For
there's no
example,
scratches.
Rudy has no refurbished cars.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. I have a lot of reconditioned cars though.
Untested. As
Well,
is.
you actually have a lot of cars
Yeah.
that are broken.
Yes,
And
they haven't been
I
reconditioned yet.
Exactly.
I read something on Facebook the other day that you repair a car and they break down on their way back to taking them home or something like that.
Yeah, my mom's car and truck I've had for the truck almost 2 years, the car for 6 months now. And every time we get them fixed, we drive them for a week, everything's fine. And then as I'm driving it to her house, something serious breaks every single time.
Are you the one fixing it?
My shop is.
Are you involved in the fixing at any point?
On occasion, yeah.
I rest my case.
There's the common denominator.
The weird thing is it's only her 2 cars. Everything else we've fixed runs for
That
a
you know
while.
As soon as it leaves the state,
my
you
trucks,
know
my trucks don't count.
uh-huh.
Customers' vehicles always run after they leave.
But Bruce, what you just described as doing to that MacBook Air, do you consider that refurbishing or reconditioning or just
Well, I'm never going to use that word when I'm selling something, but I would consider that a lot of people who are selling on eBay would consider what I described as refurbished.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Because I see a lot of people use the word refurbished on eBay, and I'm sure that they're not ones
Thank you,
that are
Justin.
as new.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, we haven't done that, have we?
I
Someone
know
going
we
to do
should.
that?
I'll do it.
No, I could do it.
Smash that like button.
Got it before I did.
There we go. On that note, I think we, given the fact that we've only got 10 minutes left, did we want to start
Whoa.
hitting the old?
Do we have 10 minutes? Holy wow!
Hitting the
Yeah.
old
Holy
the self promotion, shameless
Yeah.
self promotion. So all right, well, let's start off with you, Jay. What's happening? What's going on? What's your future hold?
I did a few streams a few months ago. One of them was a liquid damaged MacBook Pro board that turned out to have a massive crater under the FireWire circuit that I put on the shelf as, hey, this is going to be a winter project. Then I believe there's a Mac from Israel that I did a few streams on. That's like, this is more than I bargained for. It's going to go on the winter shelf. And I just started working on all those projects. There's about 7 of them in total that I put aside for working on in the winter. So I'll be working on that stuff. And I will be putting the first 2X up on eBay this weekend or early next week.
Nice.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And we're
starting
definitely
starting the auction at $1,200. So
yes. More live streams coming up, Jay. Haven't seen one in a while.
I know, and I got a bunch of them planned. I got plenty of stuff to do. Just haven't gotten around to it really yet, but hopefully.
And just for future reference, as soon as you start getting gate crashed by other Mac yackers, just stop the stream. Just stop the stream.
I don't know. People seem to enjoy it when it completely goes off the rails.
That's when he gets his most viewers.
Yeah, that's right. It starts calling them, "Don't watch this stream."
I actually have fun when I start like, okay, I'm gonna fix up this 2010 Mac Mini. I spent 20 minutes doing exactly that, and then there's Bruce, there's Mike.
Yeah,
there's
the other
Steve,
3
there's
hours
Steve,
or
who are you? Oh, you got the link by accident. Well, come on in, and then it just has nothing to do with a 2010 Mac Mini, and then I get to figure out a fun thumbnail for that. It's fun.
So Justin's just mentioned that he will be streaming the next segment of the Mac LC repair saga soon. So I think there have been 2 already. One of them ended rather abruptly.
3.
I didn't get to see the end of the other one because I had to head out. So,
I'm not the one with the bird feeder yet. Not yet. No.
Yep. Okay. So that is number 3. How about you, GT? What have you got in store?
Well, I've been busy. I've got a lot of MacBooks and MacBook Pros down here on the floor that I've been sitting there putting labels on, seeing which ones work, which ones don't. I am not refurbishing them. I am cleaning them up, and they are probably going to be going on some of the marketplaces for sale. I may put some of them on Discord. They will be selling real cheap. I don't sell them for a ridiculous amount of money. In fact, it's funny because I was going to sell one, and Grudy, we were talking about it on. I guess we were sitting here on StreamYard, and Grudy's like, "Yeah, I'll take it." And yeah, so he bought one, and I said, "Well," he goes, "Well, how much?" I said, "Well, I was going to put it for like I think it was whatever it was. It was a low amount of money. It wasn't much."
Yeah.
And Grudy's like, "Yep, here's your PayPal. I already sent it." So yeah, I'm going to be trying to get rid of a lot of these because I just have so many of them now that's just taking up space on my floor. I've sat there and labeled everything, made sure I have the working ones in one pile, and then the non-working ones that either need some more work done on it or they will become parts. So, yep. Thank you, Starbuck. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. Like I said, I try not to send something except when I send Jay one that doesn't have I forget what key it was that didn't work. He said that, what key was that, Jay?
Real quick, I want to do a friend a favor. Say, hey, I'm going to hook you up with a laptop so you can do your thing. It's not going to cost you a thing. It's on me. So I strike a deal with GT, traded him some high-end SSDs for a 2010 MacBook Pro. That's in pretty good shape. And he's like, yeah, it's flawless. Battery is good. Keyboard works. Everything is perfect. 100%. So I get the Mac. I start testing it. I've not been able to keep it up and running for more than 2 minutes at a time. So that's the kind of product I get from GT.
You're the only one that's gotten something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he happened to sell it to me as refurbished, by the way.
But I don't think I think it was like a ridiculously low price. It wasn't even that much.
Oh, no.
Actually, I think we just traded. We just did a straight up trade.
Yeah,
didn't we?
we did a trade.
Yeah.
And once I figure out what's wrong with the board, everything is in good shape. But that's on the winter project shelf. So,
In fact, it's funny because Jay was talking about getting that one that I was talking about with Grudy, and before Jay could say anything, Grudy's buying it.
before I could type like, "Oh, I'm interested," I'll take it. And then you start talking about an iMac. I got an iMac set. Oh, that might be cool for my friend that needs a new GPU. I'm interested. I'll take that too.
That's exactly how the conversation went. Is Grudy sat there and sniped everything from Jay.
Yep.
You could have asked for 600 a pop though, because he'll pay that.
I should have, man.
Yeah, that's right. You'll learn your lesson
He
next
just
time.
paid $5.99 for a G3. What was that you just paid for?
The G3 Harmony card.
Yeah.
Upgrade.
Yeah.
Damn, I could have probably asked for a whole lot more, but
Yeah.
nah. I don't mind selling this stuff for cheap. In fact, like I said, I'm going to put some of this stuff on Discord. And if any of you guys out there that are on Discord want to look at it, feel free. The only thing I do charge whatever it costs for shipping. Usually a lot of these can go, I think it's regular flat rate medium box. I think that's only about $13, I think it is, whatever. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I'll be sending. Most of them I have are from like 2000. I think I got some from 2008 all the way up to 2012. So
Nice.
I have a bunch of different ones, 15 inches and 13 inches. So,
and to
I'm looking for a
steal the
2012
spotlight back
15
for a
inch,
quick
by the way.
second. Sorry, but
yeah.
I don't hold me to this. I haven't really thought it through. I just figured it'd be fun. One of the two X machines behind me is going to be sold exclusively on tinkerdifferent.com at some point. It's not going to be on eBay.
Ooh.
It's not going to be anywhere else. Only on Tinker Different. So if you're interested in one of these machines, make sure you sign up on Tinker Different.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of interesting things going on Tinker Different at the moment, so don't miss out. Grudy, what have you got coming up?
Well, Tuesday I spent from 10 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. filming a video, which is going live. I'm thinking of doing a premiere. I haven't actually gotten the link out yet, but it's uploaded. It's going live at 9 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So it's going to be fun. It's
already available somewhere else though right now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's on Patreon if you want to watch it, but you have to be a Patreon supporter.
Fortunately, I stopped going.
I used to be, and then you went MIA, and I had to un-Patreon. I might have to think about coming back again. I'll tell you what. I'll make a promise with you. You get one of these.
I knew that was coming.
Oh damn!
I will. I'll do the Patreon again. So that's.
I didn't even realize you left. You're still in my Patreon payment thing.
Oh wow! Isn't that good? I'm getting all the cred for doing nothing.
I've been paying, and I'm not even in the credits. Can you believe that?
Because you're only paying $1.
That's more than you deserve, kid.
But yeah, it's a video. I make an iMac G5 7, 2.5.
iMac G5?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or no,
okay.
a Power Mac G5.
Oh,
Good
I'm like,
catch.
wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
I want to
A
see
7, 2.5.
Mhm.
It's built out of a mid 03 and a mid 04 combined into one. It's my second attempt at a 2.7 air cooled, which may or may not have worked. You'll find out in the video.
Now, Dana has also made a promise that he will also sign up for your Patreon. He also has a requirement, though. He would like to see you get a haircut.
Hold on. We have something here I want to share real quick. That Grudy just it's a preview to his video, but it's not going to be in his video. So you don't mind if I show this, do you? You could probably tell
Go
what
ahead.
it is.
Go ahead.
All right, here we go.
I don't think there's going to be sound.
Can't hear
unless you
anything.
Oh, there's no
No.
sound. Damn it.
Oh, you blew it, man! You blew it.
Yeah, you got to upload it into Stream Duck if you want to.
Damn it, I can't share it. Okay, so I have to do it that way. So
Mm.
let's do it the other way. Hold on, let me remove that. But yeah, it's pretty funny. I think you guys will like this.
Where'd you get that video?
I have four
Post it into
minutes
the
of me
chat.
doing that and the bloopers at the end.
Yeah, it's fun. It's hilarious that Grudy does this all the time. He shows them to us all the time.
Oh
My
yeah.
desktop. There it is. Come on.
We got the beginning of the last video where you threw the phone.
I guess it doesn't like dot moves, and so I have to convert it. Damn it.
Yeah. Well, I guess people are going to have to watch the bloopers.
We'll have to watch it later.
Yeah.
Anyways,
the phone.
it's like his 20th,
Oh, yeah,
your
yeah.
20th time doing the intro.
Where is I didn't upload the I actually said a lot of really bad profanities in that video. Let's not show you that one.
Wow, we've already said worse than that on here already today. So, and remember,
What about you, Bruce? What are you up to?
Undecided. I shot a little bit of B-roll for my ultrasonic cleaner video the other day. I'm hoping to try and get a bit more work done on that. I had a quite an enjoyable live stream last weekend. For anyone who might have missed it, I got sent a Color Classic Logic board that was in a pretty bad state. So basically, someone just said, "I've got this Color Classic Logic board. It's free to a good home if you pay for postage." This is Jeremy Barhide, really nice person, here in Australia. Sort of, he's very active in the vintage Mac community, vintage computer community. And I said to him, "Yeah, I'll grab that Color Classic Logic board." So I sent him the postage. He sent it to me, and it had quite a lot of nasty trace and pad damage on it. And basically spent a live stream fixing it up and getting it working, and that was the end outcome. So I now have a spare working Color Classic Logic board, which is a great outcome.
Nice.
So yeah, that one was a very enjoyable video to do, and it had some nice little soldering techniques in it and stuff like that. So I'd like to try and keep that going if I can, try and think of something interesting. But the biggest problem I have at the moment is just a massive backlog of repairs and very little spare time. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I will probably live stream on the weekend. I'll maybe time it to be exactly the same time as Grudy's premiere, because I know he loves it when that happens. But no, I won't do that.
But the question is, who is streaming tonight?
That's a good question. Jay, it's your turn.
No, it's not.
Jay?
Dave says it's time to end the stream, so we might as well.
Well,
Oh,
Dave,
man.
you were here before, so I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't count.
yeah, it
Doesn't count. Yeah. So we have a Discord. It's a pretty active community on there. We've got lots of people posting questions and answers and being social and friendly. So jump onto the old Discord if you haven't already. Good place to hang out. And of course, don't forget to smash that like button, and don't forget to click that bell and do what you have to do.
Smash that like button.
And of course, we have a website as well, mac-yak.com. And we're going to be checking that out later on. We've got awesome things coming up. It's only a little way away, January, until we have the Power PC Challenge. So start getting your Power PCs out, start getting them working and all ready to go for the Power PC Challenge in January.
Sorry to interrupt. I mentioned, or someone mentioned last week that instead of emailing us your experiences and videos and all that, there might be a little place on Tinker Different to put this, and there is.
That is correct. And on Tinker Different, up in the top section, I think it's in the announcements and stuff section of that, you'll find events and meetups, and that is designed for these sorts of events, whether it be March and Tosh, or whether it be DOSember, or whether it be the Power PC Challenge, or even some of the things like the VCF Midwest and all that sort of stuff. This is a place for people to post stuff about those sorts of events. So once we get the Power PC Challenge up and running, we'll be inviting everyone to go into Tinker Different and do little forum posts about their experiences and the computer they use, the problems they've had, the software they're using, all that sort of stuff. So that will be coming up, but more information about that later on. So
sounds like fun.
Yeah. So I think that's it. I'm just going to make sure that we're all ready to go. Yep. And
thank you for the super chats.
Yes, thank you for the super chats today.
Yes,
thank you for everyone for hanging out with us and watching the show. I hope it wasn't too boring for you. And of course, that's rubbish. We're so interesting. We will hope to see you next week. So bye to everyone. See you next
Adios.
time.
bye.